On today's show, I'll speak with Nathaniel Rodriguez, Deputy Director with the Transitional Assistance Department for San Bernardino County. The department assists community members with food and nutritional services, and they provide resources to help one become self-sufficient. Some of their programs include CalWorks, CalFresh, and Medi-Cal. We'll talk in depth about CalFresh and learn of some new guidelines and requirements for some to remain eligible to receive benefits. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lilian.
First, share what your department does and how it serves San Bernardino County residents.
Sure, of course. We are the Transitional Assistance Department in San Bernardino County. We assist our customers and our families and our constituents in the entire county with program services that aid their nutritional needs, their medical needs, and their needs that they might find themselves in need of food, nutritional services, and potential resources and tools that can help them become self-sufficient, healthy.
Okay, and what does that look like? Give me some examples of what that might look like.
Sure, yeah. The department itself actually supplies a lot of that service to the community through our programs of CalWorks, CalFresh, and Medi-Cal. And those are our three major programs. We serve many other programs and many other needs within the county, but those are our main three programs. And we have 19 forward-facing, customer-facing offices, which provide that service face-to-face. Anytime the customer needs us, we're here to help.
Okay, real good. Well, let's talk specifically about CalFresh. Share what CalFresh is and who's eligible to the best of your knowledge.
Sure. Well, the CalFresh program, federally known as SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, actually issues monthly electronic benefits onto the EBT cards that people might be more familiar with, so that families who are eligible and individuals who are eligible can buy food items at the market and food stores. And once qualified, those households and individuals can then be provided a means to those nutritional needs that they and their families need.
To be eligible, they go somewhere, fill out paperwork, and then follow the guidelines. If you could just share that little bit.
Absolutely. Yes. There's multiple ways to apply. It could be online at benefitscal.com. It can be through a phone call to us. It can also be just walking into any one of your local social services offices and letting them know that you're there to apply for benefits. We do have that information available at each of our sites. If somebody's not really comfortable yet to apply, they just want to get some information, we're here to assist that as well. But that is correct. They can apply in multiple ways, and we assist them in identifying once they apply if they are eligible or not.
Okay. And so everybody is not going to be eligible, of course. So is it a criteria of maybe a certain salary that you make each year, or if you're under a certain cap? Or obviously, I don't want everybody going to apply for it because it's not going to be available to everybody. But is there some immediate guidelines that might help?
Of course, yes. Every person's situation is different. Every family or individual situation is different. But we have general guidelines. We do look at each person individually, their situation, the number of individuals in their household, the amount of income, earned and unearned income, and kind of their means, the general means, and what their expenses are. And based on all that information, we determine through the federal regulations that we are administered to do, identify if they're eligible or not.
So I was going to ask, is CalFresh a county, a state, or a federal program? And it sounds like it might be a federal program, but then we do it specifically to our area, because you said SNAP, but we call it CalFresh here in California.
That is correct. Yes, California likes to rename things.
Okay.
SNAP, and I think it's a good thing because it does make it more localized. The ownership of it, make sure that we have that passion and desire to continue those services. Nationally it is SNAP, and these are federal programs, but the SNAP benefit program in California is called CalFresh, and the TANF program at the federal level is called CalWorks.
Okay, got it. Now let's dive in a little deeper with the CalFresh program. There's been some changes and new requirements to CalFresh programs. What is the able-bodied adults without dependents work and community engagement requirements, or what is that whole thing?
That is quite a mouthful, yes. Well, the ABOD, as you already said, we like those acronyms, but able-bodied adults without dependents, that is a work and community engagement requirement. That is a federal rule that became effective June 1st, 2026. And that rule provides us with the instruction that many CalFresh recipients between the ages of 18 and 64 who are determined to be able-bodied adults without dependents would need to start meeting those work and community engagement requirements of 20 hours a week, or 80 hours per month, or be excused from the work requirement entirely through an exemption.
There's a lot there. What I'm hearing is maybe some people were eligible to receive CalFresh in the past, but now it looks like they're maybe scrutinizing a little differently, and some people are not. And you're trying to bring attention to those that may not understand that they have to do something else. It's not going to be everybody that's receiving CalFresh. It's going to be a certain population. Is there a certain group that we know that might be more able-bodied? I don't know.
Oh, well, you're correct in that it's not going to affect every CalFresh recipient or every family or individual, but it is those individuals who are, again, between the ages of 18 to 64, who are determined to be able-bodied and they don't have any dependents, hence ABOD. Those individuals, and again, they may or may not be affected by these work requirements. If they are affected by the work requirements and that determination is made, then they could meet those requirements, again, 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month, through a variety of opportunities such as work, and that's just one. It could also be through volunteering and community service work, or through education, at least half-time.
Have those people already that maybe are on the borderline, or have they been notified so they would know that they either have to do different paperwork or get involved with work or volunteering? Have they already been notified?
Yes. Actually, we partnered very well with our state partners at CDSS, the California Department of Social Services. And with that partnership, we provided tools, resources. There have been multiple rounds of text messaging campaigns to potentially affected customers, so they knew well in advance. We do not want to surprise any of our customers with this information, and as soon as we know, we like to make sure that our community knows what's going on. We've also done robocalls. We've done training with our staff with partnership through CDSS. We've utilized a lot of their tools and resources and placed in our social media sites. And I'm happy to say now through radio.
Okay, very good. So what you're saying is you have done your very best, your team, to notify these individuals that it may affect. Doesn't mean it necessarily will, but it may affect. And then they'll have to do a little bit more to find out if, in fact, yes, they are able-bodied in this group.
Correct.
Do you help them find work, or do you help them find volunteer? Have you partnered with other organizations for that?
We actually have, and we've actually, again, did a lot of the legwork early on, and we've actually held 2 community roundtables where we've invited community organizations and faith-based organizations who may have those opportunities for employment and or volunteer slots. And we've held those on April 30th and May 14th of 2026. I'm happy to report we had over 182 participants, and where they could ask the questions, and that we could also share with them what the new rules and regulations are and how they can maybe partner together with us. And our shared customers can then benefit from those meeting the requirements should they have to be meeting them and finding out that they are required to meet them.
Nathaniel Rodriguez is the Deputy Director with the Transitional Assistance Department for San Bernardino County. I saw that June was a deadline, or maybe that's when the notification. Is there a harder deadline when they're actually going to lose those benefits? So the idea is that you're giving them some time to get it in gear so they don't lose it, or they at least know what's going on. How does that work?
Sure, absolutely. Very good question. So it did start effective for the requirements to start to kick in June 1st. However, everybody who will then be determined to be an ABOD has 3 months worth of eligible services, 3 full months of eligible benefits before that requirement has to be met. So it really would depend on when every person applied and when their first full month of benefits were provided. So every person's time to start meeting the requirement could be different.
You've had these roundtables, you've had these texting, you've tried to do, it seems the county's tried to do a lot of ways to inform these people. And,
lobby posters, flyers, brochures.
But we know, having been in your business, that some are going to fall through the cracks, and it's just the business, right? It's just going to happen that way. If they fall through the cracks and they've hit their 3 months, and then they're suddenly going to realize they don't have the benefits, and they're going to be shocked. Do they go to an office to try and get that straightened out? What's the next process?
And through this entire process, we'll also notify customers, how many months they have, where they are, and even prior to the discontinuance, they'll be notified. So yes, if they do find themselves in that situation, they can come in to any office. They can call us, and then we can look into the reasons for the discontinuance. They can share maybe that they are now working or volunteering, and now that they meet one of the requirements, then they can be reconsidered for additional benefits beyond the 3 months, as long as they continue to meet those 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month.
And really, if they are an able body, 20 hours a week isn't that difficult. Now, if they are working and getting paid, does that change their eligibility? Meaning the amounts they'll receive, funding they'll receive?
Any amounts of income and expense changes, those would need to be notified or made aware to the Social Services Department. And then we'd have to really determine, based on whatever the changes are, if that did affect the benefits or not. It may actually raise the benefits, it could lower the benefits, or they're now self-sufficient based on the 20 or maybe 8 hours a week now that they're working, and then they would no longer then be eligible. Right. But it would really depend on the amount that is being reported in the change.
So, not to weasel out of working, but I really like the fact that there's the volunteer opportunity, because that means a lot of nonprofits or organizations will benefit from those services that they might not have had otherwise. And if they're volunteering, there's not additional income, but they're out doing something and serving the community. And they would, as I understand you, they'll still qualify if they're putting in that many hours. Now, do they turn in paperwork each month to show that they're on target, or how does that work?
Yes. Well, verification would still then be necessary to identify if the average of 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month is being met. So verification is still a key component of the change.
Okay. And where do they go? What website do they go to?
Well, I have three options, I believe, that would be, and I really encourage anyone listening to visit your local social services offices. We're here to help. Look us up. We're here to help. We have different phone numbers as well and hotlines, but come speak to us. We can assist you. If you prefer to do things a little bit more like self-service wise, I would give you the option of going to benefitscal.com. Again, that's benefitscal.com, where you can actually check if you and your certain circumstances may qualify for an exemption, or if you are even to be considered an ABOD, and these requirements would apply to you or not. So that's a really great resource. They have a screening tool there. Again, that's benefitscal.com. And lastly, at the CDSS website at cdss.ca.gov, where there's a plethora of information on ABODs, CalFresh, also our other programs, CalWorks.
So it sounds like your team, the others, your partners, have really made an effort to try and make this transition, if it's needed, as easy as possible. What's your greatest takeaway? What is it you want listeners to know? That we are here to help, that these requirements are effective June 1st, but the ramifications of them do not immediately take effect, that we are assisting them throughout the entire process. And if they find themselves getting close to the identified 3 months of full benefits being received, we can assist them with, or at least providing them resources to find work opportunities, volunteer opportunities, and or even educational opportunities that will help meet the requirement, and they would continue to be eligible for benefits. Okay, very good. Now, we do know that some people may not have the internet, so going online isn't an opportunity for them. But you are saying you can go in person, and do you need an appointment to go in person, or can you show up and just wait your turn? An appointment is not necessary. You would be able to come in. We have lobby systems that put you into a queue, and you will be seen in the order and by the person who can best assist you and serve you based on the need and the requirement that you're requesting. Perfect. Nathaniel Rodriguez is the Deputy Director with the Transitional Assistance Department for San Bernardino County. Nathaniel, thank you so much for a plethora of information. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to speak with you. To learn more about San Bernardino County benefits, go to benefitscal.com. That's benefitscal.com, or visit cdss.ca.gov. That's C as in Charles, D as in David, S as in Sam, S as in Sam.ca.gov.